Hey Al, how's it going? Figured I would come in and I'm zoomed right in. It when my camera does this, it drives me nuts. It just drives me bonkers. But anyways, um, yeah, my camera's just it just drives me nuts when it does this. I just figured I'd come in here and do a light night. It I'm off tomorrow. So hey, I don't have to go to bed early. Um It's 11:12. Open discussion, really. I will open it up. Hey, Barry, how are you? Good to see you, man. Always great to see you. And of course, you too, Cheryl. Um, I don't know how long I'm going to go for. Who knows? Hour, two, three, four. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what kind of action we get. Let me just get rid of this. I know, Cheryl, you mentioned in the chat there about a new chair. Yeah, I need to get a new chair. That's on my long list of things I need to get, along with a new computer. This PC is shot, and unfortunately, yeah. Let me just see. Along that with, hey Michael, how are you? Along with the StreamYard. StreamYard's not the best. It doesn't unless you get the Pro. It's not going to rebroadcast in full HD. It's only rebroadcasting in 780, I believe. Something like that. Something along those lines. Anyways, yeah, it's been a rainy day. It's been very wet, just really rainy, very damp, and very, hey, it's late fall. The winter is around the corner. They keep saying that we're going to get this massive amount of snow. I don't see it in the forecast. I see a little bit of snow coming up soon, but chances of that happening are slim. Really. It's been, maybe, averaging 8, 9, 10 degrees Celsius. I don't know what is that, 40 Fahrenheit, something like that. I don't know, 40, probably more than that. I don't know. But it's been miserable. All this week, it's supposed to be miserable. It's not supposed to be um, good this week. Just rain, rain, rain in the forecast. So, yeah, wonderful. You know, I've been watching. Well, I finished it off earlier today. Um, the Penguin series. You know what? I have to say it was brilliant. You know what? When I was a kid growing up, I was never really a DC fan. I was always a Marvel guy. I loved Marvel comics and all the characters. I wasn't much for superheroes. I mean, yeah, I liked Batman and I liked Superman, but I was more I don't know. When it came to DC, I like Deadman and the Phantom Stranger and stuff like that. More, lesser known, the more spookier sort of DC offerings. The Swamp Thing. I loved the Swamp. Or sorry, not the Swamp Thing. Was it? Yeah, no, Swamp Thing is Marvel. Maneater. Was it Maneater? Maneater? I don't know. For DC, I don't know. And I love the stuff that Jack Kirby uh, drew. I was a big Jack Kirby fan. So when he came to DC and he drew some of the stuff for DC. There's some really cool shit. But anyways, I have to say I've been enjoying what DC has been doing with. Yeah, he was awesome. Awesome. But I have to say I'm enjoying what DC is doing with their characters. You know, their characters are, the first Joker movie was brilliant. The second one, don't even bother. If you have not gone to see it, don't bother. It's a waste of time. God. Um, and really showing the human side of things. These characters and giving them a background. You know, and that's basically what they did with the Penguin in the miniseries, the season one, if you will. I don't know if they're going to do another one, but really good, really good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved how they dug deep and really brought the character of the Penguin to life. Showing you know this human sort of characteristics. I mean, he is human after all, right? But wow, I have to say I was blown away by the series and the ending. Is it the ending, or is it, you know, is there a second season coming? Who knows? I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. Be nice. It was really, really good. Really. Have you guys seen it? Any of you guys? The Penguin? Anybody? Um, if you haven't, go check it out. It's on Peacock in the States. I don't know what it is on here, up here in Canada, what they're showing it on. I have the wonderful, world of IPTV, so, you know, but I know it's on Peacock in the States, and here, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But if you have a chance, do check it out. Really worth it. Really worth it. Yeah. What else? What else? I've been kind of scouring again YouTube and looking for interesting shows and possible guests. I do this every once in a while, like scour an area. Oh, I just, speaking of this show, us, we left we left Blog Talk Radio for the second time back in 2014, 15. And we became a part of the New Visions Radio Network family. And it was the best thing that we'd ever done. The Sunday night shows are we're just in awe at the numbers of listeners, live listeners that we get. But anyways, I get a memo. I get an email actually last week, and basically saying that as of January 2025, Blog Talk Radio will be no longer. And it's kind of sad because Blog Talk Radio was a good starting point for people who are looking to start up a radio show. And it had dedicated lines. It had toll-free numbers that you could call. We used to love that. We used to love the the live calls, the shows to the calls to the show. Yeah, you got a lot of crank calls, but I mean, there was a lot of really good calls. A lot of people, that called in and legitimately shared their experiences and their knowledge and so on and so on with the paranormal, and it was really really neat. And it's something that we've missed since coming over to New Visions, and it's something that I would kind of like to reintroduce, but it's kind of hard finding a viable sort of program, if you will, that allows you to um, have a call in, a toll free number, I guess, or whatever. I mean, we were using Skype for a little bit, and Skype worked a little bit, but you know, Skype, I'm surprised it's still around, to be honest. I'm surprised it hasn't. It's literally taken a nosedive. I mean, who owns it now? Somebody owns it now. Ooh, I believe Microsoft. And ever since Microsoft bought it, it just blows chunks. And we used it for years. I mean, we were using it with Blog Talk Radio to bring our guests on the show. Um, but we had a lot of issues over the years with it, a lot of issues. And always at the the premium times, we'd go live, get ready to go live, and all of a sudden shit would just go down. We'd be like scrambling. Oh fuck. But you live and you learn, right? I mean, we use StreamYard now, and StreamYard is, I mean, I can't complain. It's not bad. It's not the best, but you know what? You have to fork out big bucks for it to be primo, and nobody still wants. I mean, this isn't the free version, but at least it's the next one up from the free, and you know I kind of wish it would broadcast in full HD onto YouTube, and it doesn't do that. So it's really too bad, but whatever, you know. And it doesn't help with my computer. My computer's trash. I need to get a new computer to make nocturnal frequency radio great again. No, just kidding. Just had to throw that in there. I don't know why. But yeah, I don't think anybody uses it, Michael. Hardly anybody. I can't think of anybody um, who uses Skype for interviews. Nobody. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. And we like I said, we used it because we had a plan that would allow us to have unlimited U.S. North American calls, right? From didn't matter U.S. or Canada, and it didn't help though because in the beginning we had a lot of people from the UK, a lot of guests, and it didn't really help. Um, Santa for a new computer, yeah, that's a good. Maybe I should, right? Maybe I should. Maybe I should. But I was thinking about building one, but I don't know. I don't have the time to build a computer. I just, I'm trying to build a new bookshelf for behind me to get rid of that one, that eyesore. I'm looking to build that, and that's probably gonna Probably start building that this weekend. Yes, a solid piece of furniture. That thing behind me is an atrocity. Atrocity. It's just an eyesore. It's got to go. Um. Containers. Absolutely, Michael. Yeah, by all means, please do send it. Send it Discord, or you can send it to me at nocturnalfrequencyradio@gmail.com. Yeah, either or, whatever is the easiest way. I was gonna say Messenger, but I don't know. Are you on Facebook? I don't know. I use Messenger quite a bit with a lot of people. So I mean, even that, if you're on Facebook, let's see. I'll put this out there. We will. There we go. Yeah, exactly. Barry's right, and they got a limitation. Um, you can use like what is it? Oh my god, what's that app I use? Of course, I can't find it. Go figure. It is. Do I still? Oh, we transfer. I use WeTransfer too. I mean, quite often. WeTransfer, whatever. However, I mean, yeah, send it if you can send it, dude. I would love to listen to it. I would love to listen to it. Yeah, I agree. It's too dramatic. Facebook. The only thing I really use Facebook for is promoting the shows, the radio show. That's it, really. I mean, I do have my own personal Facebook that I've had since the beginning, but I don't know. Like I said, I just literally use it to pump the show, get it out there, and that's about it, really. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see here. Hold on a second. Okay, now that's freezing on me. Don't freeze. Okay. Let's see. Where are you? All not going to show that. You know, I've been going through all the remaining Dark Woodlot. Episode 5 is a slow burn. It's a slow, real slow burn. And let me just say, there's going to be a twist with the last episode. A something major is going to be, the beans will be spilled in the next episode of the Dark Woodlot. I watched Sunday Night Show. It was Monday here. Well, thank you, Cheryl. Or you know what? We're always glad that you come in and support the show. And I really do, we really do appreciate it. Thank you. And working on the mug. You know what? I don't know. Like I said, I can have it, or like I said, bring it here. But I think we're gonna wait till we get the new merch store. We get the new merch store up. We're probably going to look this week at switching things over to a new merch store because we want to get better products. And but don't worry, we'll definitely get you a mug, and we'll get it intact. I know that you're worried that it won't show up in one piece. It'll be shattered and all that, but don't worry, we'll definitely get you a mug. No worries at all on that. We haven't forgotten about that. We have not forgotten about you. Don't worry. And and I keep saying this to Barry. I haven't forgotten about you. I still have 2 bags of chips for you. I gotta get on my ass and send them to you. Oh my god, I'm so bad. And I got a box for Jackie in the UK. Yeah, they got Barry's the jalapeno cheddar, right? I bought him 2 bags, buddy. I got them. I haven't dug into them. Don't worry. There's still. I think I might buy a couple more bags so they're a little bit more fresh. But trust me, I got them coming to you, man. I definitely have them coming to you, man. I'm bad with this. So much shit is going on. I'm so bad with mailing shit out. Right now, Canada Post is on strike. So I can't send it I can't send it through the post. Anything through the post right now. I'd have to send it like UPS or FedEx, one of the two. Because unfortunately, Canada Post is on strike, and I don't know when. Like they're trying hard to kind of like get a deal ratified or ratify or get some sort of tentative agreement in place, because if anybody knows anything about what's coming up next week in the US, Black Friday and Thanksgiving in the US. So I mean that's a huge fucking week for people sending shit and buying stuff. Here in Canada, it's huge. Still, even it's a major thing in the States. You have a lot of Canadians who flock down to the US to look for those great Black Friday deals and become a part of those fucking memes. Well, yeah, and I mean they literally know. I mean they know. They know. I mean if they want a good deal, they have to utilize its leverage for them to get a good deal. And I do hopefully they will get a good deal, because I mean, let's face it, in this day and age, can any postal service, is having a hard time with all the courier services out there now. There's so many ways to send shit. I mean, even like Amazon has their own way of sending shit. You know, it's competitive out there. So, and for them to be competitive now, they need to think outside the box. And, hey, so hopefully they get a deal, because if, Canada Post is a part of it's a governmental uh department, you know, it's a government job. Canada Post is a part of the government. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Uh, but hopefully things happen before next week. Otherwise, you're going to have to find another way to get shit. I thankfully have a U.S. Post box. So, I mean, if I buy anything in the U.S., just send it to my U.S. Post box, go down and pick it up. Okay, awesome, Michael. I'll have a listen to it later on. But thanks. And I will get back to you on my thoughts. And I'm sure Friday did a good job. Friday does an amazing job. Very level headed with this stuff. So I'm sure he did a pretty good job in propping it up and whatever else, enhancing it for you. And if you can, do me a favor. I don't know if you sent me the file that Friday enhanced. If he did, send me both files. Send me your original file and send me the enhanced file. Then please label them, because I would like to have the original file to sort of have a better, because I like to be able to sort of have a crack at the actual original file rather than a um, you know filtered file. So yeah, if you can send me both, that would be great. I mean, you might have, I don't know, but if you can send them both, I'll have a listen to them and see if I can kind of work some magic on them. Um, yeah, so literally, we are going into the show. Will be going into our annual hiatus. I'm looking here. October 8th will be the last show for 2024. And then we'll be back in January, second week in January. We are having a show next Friday night. Next Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 a.m. or sorry, 11 a.m. or sorry, 11 p.m. UK time. And that's with Carl, the mind behind Dark Arts Television in the UK. Very popular show out of the UK. So he will be coming on also with our good buddy Matt Williams and Melissa Jones Paranormal. But I'm looking forward to having Carl on. If you guys aren't following his channel, it's Dark Arts TV. Do check it out. Very popular in the UK. I believe he was on some TV show in the UK, some paranormal TV show in the UK as well. But he will be popping in on the 29th, Friday night. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's going to be a twist for everybody. Let me just say it was a twist for the guys. but it'll be a twist for everybody. Um, we kind of said that that was probably going to be the last time shooting in the woodlot, but I might need some more additional footage, but we'll see. All right. Oh, it's YouTube video. Okay. All right. Cool. Awesome. I will check it out for you, Michael. Thank you. Let me see here. All right. Perfect. Got them. They are in the email inbox, and I will check them out. Thank you, sir. Let's see. Okay. Just looking at something. I used to follow dark arts ages ago. Oh, okay. Used to. May I ask why you're not following them anymore? Because look at I I know people have certain views. Like, I mean, when it comes to guys like Beardo, I know there are people that like him and there are people that don't like him. Um, this, and that's fine. I mean, everybody is entitled to their opinion on things. So, yeah, same with proven demons and is it Andrew? Andrew. Whatever. A lot of people will, and I must say, very dramatic. You want to talk about Facebook being dramatic? YouTube can be very dramatic too, overly dramatic. Uh, Overly dramatic. Wow, this chair is something else. Let's see. There was much drama between groups. Yeah, that's the problem. That is the problem, and I don't blame you, Cheryl. Um, there's way too much drama, and this is the problem when people investigate. Well, and I use that loosely. Investigate the paranormal. Investigate the paranormal, and their primary goal is to edit it and put it up here on YouTube. To me, that's not investigating the paranormal. It isn't. That's me, though. There are way too many people that Their presentation is on YouTube, and that's it. Flat out claiming evidence, flat out claiming ghosts captured on film or whatever. And they're very hollow claims. Diesel man, how are you? Good to see you, my friend. You know, and I see, and like I said, I see all these. There's so many of them on here on YouTube now, and other platforms, but we'll just concentrate on YouTube. There are so many on YouTube that literally, um, make these bold fucking claims with no repercussions at all, none. They literally buy into the crap. They buy into the crap. And then when you call them out, oh my God, there's a fucking hunt. You're the bad guy. Look out. And especially if it is a channel here that has like literally thousands, if not millions of viewers, followers, subscribers, or whatever. And they literally hunt you down. They make your life a living hell because you call them out on it. Ghost, witch hunt. Go ahead. Honestly, I don't care. I don't. I don't care. I don't have a problem calling out anyone. I really don't. I don't have a problem calling out debunkers. I don't care because they're not fucking immune to this shit either because a lot of them are full of shit as well. I don't care. I mean, I've been doing this for 30 odd years, you know, close to 30 years now, and I've seen it all. You know, doing this. You want an EVP? I can play an EVP. Absolutely, Diesel. I'll play one for you, man. But and doing the show since 2008, we've heard it all. We've seen it all. The claims and the people that say that look at that figure that they're the end all be all of fucking everything when it comes to the paranormal. Now I have to play an EVP for Diesel. I have to. It's the least I can do. Let's see. Where did that come from? What the hell? Okay, hold on. Let's see here. Let's load some suckers up. I have to start loading up some newer ones or different ones. Uh-oh. What the hell? Okay. What's this one here? Here's one. So literally, you're going to hear somebody talking about the menu and then you're gonna hear like an answer. Let me just double check this. Hey, Laura, how are you? All right. You guys tell me what you think about this one. Tell me what you're picking up. It's a tough one to pick up, but you hear something. Here we go.
Their menu that was online. It was not the same menu. Their menu that was online. It was not the same menu. Their menu that was online. It was not the same menu. Their menu that was online. It was not the same.
What are you guys hearing?
Their menu that was online. It was not
What's
the
that?
same.
What are you hearing?
Their menu that was online. It was not the same menu. Their menu that was online. It was not the same menu. Their menu that was online. It was not the same menu. Their menu that was online.
What are you guys hearing? Anything? Come on.
Their menu that was
Yes.
online.
Yeah. Exactly, Laura.
Their menu that was online. It was not the same menu. Their menu that was online. It was not the same menu. Their menu that was online. It was not the same menu. Their menu that was online. It was not the same
There's
menu.
no female there. None.
Their menu that was online. It was not the same menu. Their menu that was online.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to take. It's hard to make out what she's saying. And let's play it one more time.
It was not the same menu. Their menu that was online. It was not the same.
It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. Let's see here. All right. This one's from the Shanley Hotel in New York State, in the Poconos. Okay, here we go.
We have all kinds of food. We have all kinds of food.
After the.
We have all kinds of food. We have all kinds of
What do you hear?
food.
What do you hear? What do you hear? What do you hear?
We have all kinds of food. We have all kinds of food. We have all kinds of food. We have all kinds of food.
Right here.
We have all kinds of food.
Then you hear a little laugh at the end.
We have all kinds of food.
Hey, Jeremy, how are you, man?
All kinds of food. We have all kinds of food. We have all kinds of food. We have all kinds of food.
So literally, you got all you hear this breath, and then you hear what sounds like "go away," and then you hear a lady saying something about you got all sorts of clothes, and then all of a sudden at the end you hear like a little laugh, right? Okay, here we go. I'll play it one more time for you guys, one more time.
You can have all kinds of food. You can have all kinds of food.
You hear that? You hear that? You hear that? Yeah, the okay, and that is distinctive to who's there. Was a person actually saying that, but there's something being said before and the laugh after.
You can have all kinds of food. You can have all kinds of food. You can have all kinds of food.
Go away.
You
Yeah,
can have
go
all kinds
away.
of food.
Go away.
You can have all kinds of food.
Go away.
You can have all kinds of food.
Go away or go wait.
You can have all kinds of food. You can have all kinds of food. You can have all kinds of food. You can have all kinds of food.
There you go. There you go. Play another one. Hold on, let's just see here. Let's see here. So this one's taken from. Okay, let me load this up. This is taken from the Tremaine house long time ago. One of the very first captured there, and there was nobody in the house other than myself and one of the mediums I had working with me. There's nobody in the house. No one. Close, Cheryl. Close, Cheryl. So for the most part, let me just see. I'll be here as close. Let me in know. um, Jimmy got it close. I'll be here. Is close to what most people think it says. What most people who thought it said in the original sort of analyzing of this file, they seem to think it was saying, come here. And now that I've said that to you, I can play it to you. You're like, oh, yeah, I do hear that because I force fed it to you. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. But I'll play it one more time so you guys can hear. All right, here we go. But I mean, you know what? Literally, though, Jim, you're close. I would say that's even a viable. I'll be here is even a close one. You never know. I mean, you don't know. I mean, yeah. Okay. Can I bring my recorder down there, Barry? No problem. All right. Okay, let's load up another one. All right. Let's see. What do we got going here? This is a classic one. I've played this before from Waverly Hills Sanitarium. I'll play both versions. This was recorded on two separate recorders in the same room, but each one kind of, yeah, it's weird how they play out. Let me just make sure I get the right one here. Okay. And then I'll load the other one up. All right, we'll play the first one. Again, this is from one recorder, and then I'll play the other recorder. So I'll let this loop. You guys tell me what you hear, and then I'll move on to the same one, but a different recorder, different positioning in the same room. Okay.
Did you bring that tennis ball to us?
Could anybody please make a noise?
Did you bring that tennis ball to us?
Could anybody please make a noise?
Did you bring that tennis ball to us?
Could anybody please make a noise?
Did you bring that tennis ball to us?
Could anybody please
So-
make a noise?
Did you bring that tennis ball to us?
So literally, you're hearing, yes, exactly, kind of what's Green Deal saying. So essentially, you're hearing the question, "Can you bring the tennis ball to us?" And then all of a sudden, you're hearing what sounds, yes, exactly. There isn't one, Jimmy, and that's what seems to be what most people seem to think what it's saying. But then after that, you hear like another sort of voice or another sort of interaction, but you can't quite make it out. Right? I'll play it again, and then I'll move on to the other version.
Could anybody please make a noise?
Could you bring that tennis ball to us?
Could anybody please make a noise?
So you can't really make out what's being said, but you hear there's something else sort of interjecting there, but you can't make it out, right? You just can't make it out. Yeah, Laura, exactly. That's exactly it. So you hear it more prominently in the next here. I'll play the second same recording, same area, different recorder, different positioning, and this is what you get.
Could you bring that tennis ball to us?
Could any
Could you bring that tennis ball to us?
could any
Could you bring that tennis ball to us?
could any
Could you bring that tennis ball to us?
could any
Could you bring that tennis ball to us?
could any
Could you bring that tennis ball to us?
could any
Could you bring that tennis ball to us?
So the one that's, in the first file, it's like just so muddled. But in the second one, it's so clear, you know, saying, let's just see here. The one you like. The one you like. Exactly. You're hearing two different voices. That's exactly what it is. You know, it's one's initially answering the question, and then there's one sort of, saying the one you like to the child, saying, there isn't one. Crazy, isn't it? And it's really weird because that was captured shortly in and around the same time. I don't want to say shortly after, but it's when we captured the ball movement in the room next to where it is. Crazy, isn't it? Absolutely. But I mean, the weirdness of it all is it sounds so, like an intelligent response. But the thing is, I'm always weary about going into places like Waverly Hills Sanitarium or any big place that you can go investigate. You have to think critically, because as much as I love that EVP, those EVPs, they just sound so amazing. You have to say to yourself, is the place rigged? Is it rigged? And you hope that's not the case. But you always have to think that. You always have to think that's a possibility with these places, that they could be rigged. So as much as I love those EVPs, until I definitely know that that's not an issue, that that the place wasn't rigged, then great. Then we possibly have something. But I'm always going to have that in the back of my head, that, hey, there's a possibility that the place was rigged somehow to produce those sort of EVPs, because they're just so clear and intelligent, like insane. But yeah, I mean, when you go to lesser known locations, things that haven't got a background, a sort of a paranormal background. Well, then come on, Jimmy, come on up. By all means, come up, man. I'll go for a little while. I'd love to talk. I'd love to chat with you, man. It's open, open discussion. Um, you know, I would just love, because it being so intelligent, I always have to question. I always have to question it. You have to question it. Um, and I have to say, you know, when we got there, and again, we did a private investigation of Waverly Hills, with a few others, and even so, getting there, the people literally that you know I was in contact with, that I knew, a friend of mine, had force fed so much info. How you doing, sir?
Hey, hey.
Good to
How's
see
it
you,
going?
man.
Yeah, you too. You too. I
Good.
popped in, and this is like my favorite subject.
I love it,
Favorite.
man. I could go on forever about it.
Yeah, yeah. The thing about the last one that you played, I've
Yep.
heard EVPs like that. Have you ever? Did you ever? I mean, you listen to Art Bell, right?
Oh yeah.
So they had a group on there called the GIS, and they did EVP
Mhm.
stuff with them.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of theirs were amazing, and there were some that had children that sounded like that.
Yep.
But the thing is that other one, I have the thing that picked up the recorder that picked that up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember this night?
I remember it fairly well. Yes.
Okay. Did you have the thing in your hand?
The recorder?
Yes.
No. So literally,
Okay.
the recorders weren't in our hands. They were in positioned in behind us on separate. Like one was in one corner and the other one was in another corner. So basically, to cover the room, right?
Right.
So they're studio recorders. I believe they're H2 recorders, both of
Oh.
them, right? So, but like I said, as much as I love to believe that these are real, I always question the
Where was
legitimacy.
this?
Waverly Hills Sanitarium.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. That's because. All right. It wasn't in your hand, so
No.
that eliminates the friction argument.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard some amazing shit recreated with friction. It's
Yep.
actually quite astounding.
Yep.
It does happen, but that eliminates that. So how many people were in your group? Were you alone? Did you guys rent it for the night, or what was the situation?
We were fairly there was us and three other people from another group. We were all together in that room.
Okay.
There was just us, and like I said, we were running an EVP session in that one room next to where we had the ball propped up. We were running an experiment with a heavy rubber ball.
Okay.
And I can show it. I could play that for you if you want. You could see that. And again, the footage isn't the best. This is like 2000, I think 2007. So the
Right.
CCD footage isn't the best, but you kind of get an idea as to what's going on.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, because these are voices.
Mhm.
Definitely the one that has tone to it, because the other one, it's it's weird, right? Like it seems like the other one's sort of whispery and right up on,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like right up next to it, as if
Mhm.
I don't know, its face, you know what I mean, like being right up next to it or something. And it was really hard for me to hear it. I couldn't make out what it was saying, but the last time I heard it, I was like, that sounds like another child.
Mm-hmm. It's really weird. Like I said, it's again, like when we so these recorders were on tripods. They're both on tripods, so they're up, propped off the floor.
Yeah.
to get sort of like a clean sort of 360. Because I mean, if anybody knows anything about H2 recorders, they know how the 360 sound
Right.
and 4 channels, blah blah blah, and literally both of them, like it just wow. Okay, I can't explain it.
So the voices were on both of them?
Both of them.
Huh.
And as you can see, they're slightly different because of the positioning of the recorders, right?
Okay.
So you had one in one corner and the other one in the opposite corners.
Right.
And so the acoustics were slightly different, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And bang, this, like you hear the front child's voice
Mhm.
in the one recording, and then you hear a little bit of muffling. It sounds like another voice, and then in the other one you hear the muffling. The first voice is muffled a little bit, and the second one is like clear.
Yeah.
It's like kind of reacting or kind of saying something to the person, to the first child.
Right. The
Yeah.
the first one, it was like there isn't one, and then she's kind of like or something. She said there's another tone. She says something that follows that up,
Hmm.
just as the other voice is kind of coming in, or you hear them sort of very abruptly. Like there's that one that's tonal, and then the other one is like just almost kind of going over what the other one is saying.
Hmm. Yeah,
If I
exactly.
remember right.
Yeah, well, here I'll
But
play it
yeah, or
again.
either way, it's phenomenal.
I'll play it again. Hold on. I'll play them both again.
Yeah, the other one, I'd like to hear that one again too. Was the other one at Waverly Hills as well?
Both, yeah, both in the same room, same time, and just extracted them to just get an idea of what they both sounded like. Because I'm like, okay, so if this recorded captured this, the other one must have as well,
Right.
and surely it did. Okay, so here's the first one.
Did you bring that tennis ball to us?
Yeah.
Could anybody please make a noise?
Did you bring that tennis ball to us?
Could anybody please make a noise?
Here's the second one.
Did you bring that tennis ball to us?
Could any
Did you bring that tennis ball to us?
Yeah, that's
could
crazy.
any
Did you bring that tennis ball to us?
The one you like.
Yeah, isn't
That
it
really
crazy?
is- yeah. I can hear it much better when the audio cleaned up. The one that's muffled.
Mm-hmm.
The one in the background sort of loses a bit of quality, I feel like, compared to the original. But that's you can have that. And what's really interesting is that little voice. You hear the room respond, as in the acoustics of the room. You hear her voice bounce a little.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not like crazy or anything, but you can
No.
hear
Slight.
that it's like a hallway, sort
Yeah.
of, kind of. Which I've been to Waverly before. I didn't get to do like what you guys are doing. I just took the tour. The place is pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We saw some like shadow legs walking next to this woman.
Yeah.
And the the tour guide, he had this woman walk down, and as she walked down, these legs kind of formed next to her, which was really interesting because we all saw it.
Yeah, that's. I mean, they had so many stories and myths and legends and stuff like that. They tried to force feed you.
Mhm.
I mean, one of them was, I don't know if they ever told you about Big Black.
No.
Big Black was this like engulfing shadow that literally, when you go down a certain hallway, I'm like, okay, here we go.
Uh-huh.
Right, whatever.
Yeah, stories start getting sensationalized, right?
Oh, crazy, insane.
Yeah.
Here,
I've met Tina the woman that owns the
Mm-hmm.
place.
Tina,
When I
yeah.
say I met her, she took money from me. I was,
Exactly. She took
I gave
money
her
from me. Yeah.
I gave her $25. She was super nice and everything, but yeah, it was like, oh, I recognize you. I've seen you on, whatever Ghost Adventures. Well, actually, the tour guide from Ghost Adventures was our tour guide too.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I knew people who worked security there, and I was pretty good friends with Keith Age, who basically was investigating that place before Tina had bought it.
Mhm.
And he had some really weird stuff happen there way before Waverly Hills was on the map. And I think what he had something kind of like the Ghost Adventures bullshit
Right.
with the brick being thrown at him.
Mm.
But whatever.
Mm.
However that
Yeah.
works out. But yeah, Waverly Hills is an interesting place regardless.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. I would like to go there and like do a whole night thing, but I think last I looked, it was $1,000 for a night, and
it's expensive, yeah.
that was like 2012. So
Hmm.
I don't know what it would be now. I'm sure it's gone up something,
Yeah,
but
probably. But you might get a deal now with inflation.
but that's taken at $1,000. That's 10 people, $100 each. But
Yeah,
I don't trust 10 people enough to you know what I mean? Like
that's the
I
thing.
want to be like 3 people max. And I know that the owners are always going to be there, but if I have anything to say, it's 3 people max.
I must say, well, thankfully with us because we had a private sort of thing. Tina and I forget her husband's name.
Mm,
They didn't bother us. They weren't anywhere around at
okay.
all, which was really cool. But like I said, I mean, was the place rigged?
That's the only other option.
I mean,
'Cause
I look at this and I look at certain things. I mean, they had the place rigged up with security cameras.
uh,
So that was a given. And I mean, there's so many anomalies that I picked up there that I knew it wasn't paranormal. It was
mhm.
simply they had equipment rigged up there. So I'm like, do they have this place, or did they have this place rigged to sort of force feed this sort of maybe some sort of infrasound or whatever that would come out and be recorded as an EVP? Something rigged.
Yeah, so I mean, microphones do pick up voices that are in the next room, 2
Mhm,
rooms. If
mhm,
you're in the same house, they do.
mhm,
This place is huge
mm.
though, and
Yep.
everything is wide open. There's no there's doors, but only between floors. There's
Yep.
not doors in each of the rooms. It's all open. It's all meant for air to come through it anyway. So
Mhm.
it's just open to the elements. They didn't have lights or anything like that. The only thing that
No.
we used to light our way was the moon.
Yep, the moon. It was, and I remember when we were there. It was August. It was early August. It was probably about 104 Fahrenheit. It was stagnant.
Wow,
It was brutal, man.
hot.
It was really hot. It was brutal bringing all that equipment up to the fourth floor. I think it was. And
Yeah.
it was brutal. Oh man, was it ever brutal? But like I said, always skeptical with it. As much as I like to believe it
Mhm.
sounds great,
Right.
but is it real? That's the
So
question.
the only way, if it's rigged, then it's got to be someone in real time, or they're changing. It's a recording,
Mhm.
they're changing the recording all the time. They're all the
That's
because unless that voice that you captured, somebody else captured the exact same thing. You know what I mean?
and that's the thing, right?
Right.
And yeah, I don't know, Jeremy. I have not seen anybody else at least come forward and say that the place might be rigged. I mean, you never know. I mean, people would probably say, well, obviously the owners would try to shut that down and say, no, what are you
Right.
talking about? You know, you got to watch what you say about some of these places. But Waverly Hills, I don't think have been over, you know, you know,
I've never heard anything but good things, like
yeah,
about the owners and about
yeah.
the place. So
Tina's pretty cool. I mean, like I never really had any issues, and I mean, the people that I know that used to do security and stuff, they're pretty, they had lots of stories. I get it, but
right,
yeah, I mean that's you're gonna get that with any place like that, right? You're gonna get stories, lots of stories. You
right,
know,
exactly, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
I'll play this one for you. Hold on, let me see. I don't know if I've ever played this for you. Let me just load it up here. Where is it? I'm gonna find it now. I might have played it for you before. I don't know. Let me make sure this is the right one. Okay, here you go. So literally, this was in an old farmhouse it's now a museum. And I had a camera guy going up and documenting documenting the place visually. And we're downstairs in the kitchen area, and we're talking. You can hear us talking, but then you see he centers on this oil painting, and as he's centering in on this oil painting, you hear something that's right there, literally right there with him. And I enhanced the audio so it's easier to hear it in the second clip, but I'll play this.
So what, there's, I'm hearing two voices here. Are these the EVPs?
So what you hear is you're hearing voices downstairs,
Uh-huh.
right? And
Uh-huh.
then you're hearing one that's pretty much on level with
Uh-huh.
the camera guy
Okay.
upstairs in the
Yeah.
bedroom level.
The
And
female
female kind of
singing. She's singing.
singing or reciting a nursery rhyme or something. I'll play it again.
Trying like mad to understand to hear what she's singing.
So like you hear people downstairs. Throughout that you hear people downstairs talking and kind of muffled. And then
Uh-huh.
right there with the camera guy, you hear again what sounds like a female singing or reciting a nursery rhyme.
Right. Now, so the cameraman, was he the only one in the house?
He was the only one there. Yep.
What the fuck?
Isn't that
And,
crazy?
and where is this?
This is an old, exactly, Jeremy. It sounds French. Hey, Juilliard. Yeah, it's an old museum built in 1899. It's an old farmhouse that was renovated and now is a museum to kind of give people a glimpse of what it was like to live on a farm at the turn of the century, right?
Mhm.
So literally everything in that house, there's only certain items that are original to the house, but for the most part, they ship things in that period pieces from other places to kind of furnish this place to make it look seem what it was like during the turn of the century. And that
Mhm.
obviously that painting is an original of the house that was brought in. And then, my first thought is, okay, when I heard this, I'm like, wow, okay, what the hell? It doesn't have something to do with the painting, maybe. And then I looked into the painting. The painting is titled Cherry Ripe. It's in tribute to an old English song called Cherry Ripe. So I remember, you know, bringing up some old song, some versions of the song Cherry Ripe. And I'm like, no, it doesn't sound anything like that,
Okay.
and then more and more people is like, okay, well, look at this kind of sounds German. And I'm like, no, it doesn't sound German. It sounds more French. It sounds French to me. It's French. It's definitely French. And I've had, people who are fluent in French even say, yeah, it's French, but I can't quite make out what's being said other than it sounds like an old French nursery rhyme or song that you would sing, or prayer or some sort, that when you went to bed you would say that.
Right.
So it's still an open thing, but yeah, weird.
Did you by chance take Cherry Ripe and put it into Google Translate in French?
No, you know what? That's a good chance. No, I never thought about that. I did not do that.
Well, I'm gonna do it right now. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna be able to read it, but I'd like to maybe see if there's something that we can.
Could be, yeah. I didn't even think about doing that.
Let's see, French. Okay, it's all French now. Um, I'm. See, it's interesting that that you think it sounds like it's French. Where is this? Is I'm assuming it's in Canada.
It's in Canada, but you know what? It's there. When I talked to the curator of the place, who's well versed in the history, and I mean, I'm pretty well versed in the history as well. There is absolutely no French influence there at all, which is
Okay.
weird.
Okay.
Which makes it even more of a mystery. Is it like, even because they did have slaves, they did have servants there, but not French. Not
Right.
French.
I can't paste all of these lyrics, but I can give them to you.
Sure.
So if you want to take a look at them.
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting. Wasn't there one that you were playing before? When I first got in, it was the what was it?
Hold on. Let's see. Where-
I'll be here. That's what I heard was I'll be
Oh,
here.
here. I'll load that up. I know which one you're talking about. The Tremaine House. Where are we? Let's see if this is the one here. No, that's not it. No. Okay, where are we?
Bot responded to me immediately.
Where are we? That's not it there. Where the heck did you go? There we go.
There may be no connection at all, but it's worth checking out, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I think this is the one you're talking about. I have this in the edited version. Let me just load up the edited version as well. Where are we?
I made you have to go looking.
Okay, here we go. Here's the. I think this is the one you were talking. You were referring to. Let's see.
Sounds like Froggy from The Little Rascal.
I know, huh? Here's an edited version. Hold on.
Yeah, I hear "I'll be here" every
Yeah,
time. Of course, that's what I heard, right? It sounds like 3 syllables.
yeah,
And I know that everybody. It seemed to be that everybody that heard that before was they all had the same last word. Here was the last word.
yeah,
So
yeah. Exactly. It's
yeah,
weird.
EVPs are really strange. That one doesn't sound like you know what I mean. It doesn't sound like a natural speaking voice. Like I said, it
No,
sounds like Froggy. You know,
froggy kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Could it be an
it,
animal? It could be an animal. I don't know.
where was that one done?
That was at a place called the Tremaine House, and that's where two women had committed suicide 2 separate times in the history of the house.
Wow.
A strange story behind that house. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um. Yeah. To me, the thing about EVPs, yours are really the ones that you're sharing tonight. Literally, they sound like someone else in the room. Like the tone, the fact that there's tone to it. It's not they're not all whispery, garbled junk. They sound like real. It's hard to argue these, but it's amazing to me because you show somebody like Kenny Biddle, which I love. Kenny's the
Mhm.
guy that did the friction EVPs for me.
Yeah.
And there was also one where his wife was like in another room in the house and she was talking to the dog and you could hear it. But even that doesn't sound like the EVPs do.
Mhm.
The tonal ones. They don't. There's this weird phasing sound when it comes to EVPs.
Mhm.
It's like they're out of phase,
Yeah.
and because you can tell that it's coming from somewhere, but you can't, you know what I mean? You can't quite tell where exactly, and that's something that happens when things are out of phase. You can't really quite tell where it's coming from in the mix, right? If it's like you have an instrument or whatever that's out of phase, it's like where's that coming from? It's not on a certain channel or a
Mhm.
certain panning,
Yeah.
and I just think I think there's something to that. I can't put my finger on it, but it's one of those things that as somebody who spends a lot of time with audio, I picked up, and it seems like almost all of them have it. And it's just like which gives me more questions. And also the fact that the room responds to the sound of the voice. That tells me that it's actual sound that we cannot hear it with our ears because the room is still responding.
Yeah, and like, I mean, most of my time, you know, researching this, and with what I've collected over the years, and more, I always look into the infrasound sort of aspect of things, and for some odd reason, I seem to think that maybe if there is some sort of, I want to say archaic sort of akashic record, if you will, or somewhere that houses sound infinitely, some sort of record, if you will,
Right.
that's out there, and the only way we're able to patch into it if we're, is with infrasound.
Hmm.
Infrasound being that sort of that link, that frequency that allows us, not naked with the naked ear, but with, with recorders and so on and so on, that's able to patch into infrasound and allows us to sort of extract, something from a certain area or location,
Excuse me, sorry.
or whatever. That
I have to
maybe
look up,
something's there.
I have to look up infrasound. A
Yeah,
sound wave with a frequency below the range of human hearing. Okay, so
yeah,
subsonic.
yeah.
Subsonic.
Subsonic. Yeah. I mean,
I've
dogs,
thought about that.
animals can hear it, react to it,
Hmm.
bothers them. I know I was doing some experimentation with germanium crystals,
Uh-huh.
and you can't listen to the frequency that the crystals generate because it would literally drive you insane. But if you filter it and you're able to bring it into a mechanism that allows you to record the frequency and then translate it into an audible for the human uh, consumption, if you will, it's really amazing. Just being it's almost like you're listening into a whole new world, like
Uh-huh.
literally a world that we're completely oblivious to, that we can't sort of, you know, patch into normally,
Hmm.
obviously.
Yeah. You're saying this is done with crystals?
Yeah, germanium crystals.
I don't know. How does this work?
So it's really weird, man. Like I said, my a guy I was working with, he literally grabbed these crystals. He bought these crystals, and I don't know how he did it, but he was able to fasten them uh, this kind of recorder. It was really weird, and literally he put these crystals. He grounded them down till they were like literally flat.
Okay.
And what do you he made this mechanism that'll it's almost like a turntable, like
Okay.
with a sharp needle, and it was able to sort of, when you turn these crystals, it creates like this frequency, kind of frequency, almost like white noise, but the noise is like it's so horrifying when you listen to it with the naked ear. It just literally drives you insane. So literally, he was able to sort of filter and translate it into an audible consumption for the human ear through this, like, I don't know how he did it, but it was just incredible how he was able to do it. And these we tested it out in a few places, and literally it would generate nothing but white noise. But there were periods when you would listen very carefully, it almost sounded like you were kind of like, think about, like, you're peering into another, you're peering into something, like you're in a dream or a nightmare, and you're looking into what's going on, but you can't sort of communicate because you just can't.
Hmm.
You're aware of what's going on, but you can't communicate. It's kind of like that, where you're hearing this stuff, but you can't sort of interject. You can't interact with that, other than, okay, what is going on here? This is
Okay.
weird. It sounds like a whole new.
Are there recordings of this? I mean, you said we had it
Yeah,
in a recorder, so
there
are there
there
recordings of this?
there are recordings. I got to dig them out. I have them on an old hard drive. We did this. Oh God, I think it was 2007, 2008ish, around there when we did this. So I got to
Yeah.
dig the recordings out. They're really fascinating. Really
Yeah.
fascinating.
I've never heard of anything like this.
It's
I mean, I've
crazy.
heard of stone tape theory, but
Yeah.
that's taking it to a completely different level. Like,
It was really weird because literally the guy who put it together is a genius when it comes to putting these things together. But literally, it was like taking technology, like Simon Says, speak and spell sort of thing,
Mhm.
and patching it in and being able to slave the frequencies that are being generated by this germanium crystal moving into human language. It was really weird how he was able to do this. It was so fascinating.
Yeah, that's uh, this absolutely needs to be uh, discussed and looked into further. Like something
Oh
like that
yeah.
is phenomenal, and the fact that it's
Hey
not
Steven.
that I've never heard of anybody doing anything like that.
I hadn't heard anything about it until he approached me. Like we were doing some research years ago, and he came to me. He says, "Look, I purchased some germanium crystals. I don't know where he purchased them because they're expensive, and I'm gonna build a recorder with them." And I go, "What do you mean you're gonna build a recorder?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, I've got this idea." And like I said, I'm not on the same level when it comes to building stuff like that. But when he said it to me, is like, I'm like, how the hell are you going to be able to do that? And he literally uh, said, picture it like a record player, an old record player, like with a 78, a
Okay.
78, right? And literally turning around, but the grooves of the record are germanium crystal.
Okay. So these things they're discs. He's made discs.
So I don't know exactly what he did. The stones that he polished. He polished
Okay.
them down to like a smooth surface, so the needle or whatever he had would literally like scratch the surface over and over again to generate a like frequency. And I believe there are other devices out there. I think quartz being one of them. Quartz, you can generate frequency from quartz as well, but germanium crystals are some sort of a higher frequency. I don't know exactly. He would be able to explain it better than I would. Um, and I know I could probably get him on the show. It's been a long time since I've talked to him, but it was fascinating. This thing that he was able to create. I use it to make a point contact diode from Crystal Set Radio. Worked okay. Yeah, I
What's
mean
up,
it's
Steven? By the way, sorry. I was
yeah.
just fascinated into what's going on. I just finally looked over and was like, "Oh, hey, dudes, what's up, man? Sorry, didn't notice you come in." Yeah,
Yeah.
man, this is it's because I love this. I love audio. I
Mm.
love anything to do with that, and the idea that someone has taken the grooves. He's not putting the grooves in it? I take it, or he
I don't
is.
know. No, it's actual natural to the stone.
Okay.
The grooves are natural to the stone, and literally whatever he has that touches the stone
Mm,
and is able to create the frequency that it's the stone itself creates the frequency,
that's incredible.
right? And I don't know how he was able to sort of slave that frequency
Mm,
and feed it into this device that he made, and literally, because when listen to it, it sounds like white noise. Like
mhm,
when it's slaved over and it's made into human ear consumption, if you will, like audible for the human ear.
right.
It sounds like really eerie white noise, and then all of a sudden, the odd time you kind of get this. Okay, sounds like an EVP. Sounds like somebody talking. It's just really weird. It's
Huh.
it's it's just so hard to explain. And literally, when you if you don't have a headset on, you can hear the device. You can hear it generating noise, right? But then, when you put the earphones on, you hear it a lot. It's a lot more audible, obviously.
Mm,
Fascinating, fascinating, and like I said, I'd never heard of it before, never ever, until he brought it to the forefront. I'm like, Ooh, okay, this is amazing.
Yeah, you got me curious. I want to know more about it. And I think that's like a perfect discussion for, you got somebody like that you know that has done something I've never heard anybody
No, I didn't know. Like I said, that was like
have some sort of
the first time
oh,
I'd heard of it. But I've heard some people have done it before, and I think he knew that some other people had done it before. Um, I mean, I've had Michael Esposito on the show, and he's another guy that does some hardcore experimentation with different methods, some unusual methods, and highly successful methods of collecting EVPs. Like, I mean, this guy uses a record player as white noise
right.
to generate it. It's intriguing what the guy does.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's incredible. Um, it's I mean, is there science to this? It seems like there is because he's able to generate. I mean, the idea of a needle rubbing up against something that has grooves, it's going to make it's going to make noise. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's going to make noise. But if you're able to take that noise and kind of and record it, that's another thing. If you have recordings of it and it can be cleaned up to where you denoise it, what would happen then? Are the voices going to stand out more? Have you done that?
You know what from what I remember with what it was because it was able to record
Mhm.
what was going on. And hey, Frank, how's it going? But like I said, it was a lot of white noise. It wasn't, to me, it wasn't very successful. It was intriguing.
Yeah,
And is it something that could possibly pick up EVP? I'm sure it would. Like a lot of things would be able to pick them up.
right.
But again, the time that we used it uh, in our investigation, um, it wasn't like I said. It was a lot of white noise, a lot of just white noise, just eerie white noise. But nonetheless, it was an
Yeah, absolutely.
intriguing device.
I mean, I haven't even heard what you got out of it, and I'm like, you got me, man. I have an EVP that I captured one night after witnessing a potato chip bag move.
Oh wow, okay,
If you want to
sure,
hear it,
let's play it.
it's on my TikTok, so I don't bring that up. Uh, entire screen. Yeah, that's whenever you're ready. Let's see, where's the audio?
Fucking moved hard.
Yeah, it did.
Like no mouse is gonna fucking do what that just did.
Caught a real EVP.
You guys can't leave me right now.
So you're gonna have to come home with me.
Like we all saw what that fucking thing did, right?
Yeah.
Like, it fucking moved hard.
Yeah, it did.
Like no mouse is gonna fucking do what that just did.
Yeah, I can hear it now.
Like no. Like no mouse is gonna fucking.
Yeah,
That's to me, it actually sounds like it's coming from the right side.
yeah.
And on the right side there is actually where I have like my Ouija board and my like my ghost hunting equipment stuff, which I
Yeah.
never use a Ouija board, but that's the side of that's where it's like coming from that side of the house. It seems like to me anyway.
And the chip
I hadn't thought
bag
about that.
moved.
Yeah,
Chip-
so these bags weren't here. I had actually gotten up. This bag was the only bag sitting up there, and
Yeah.
it moved a little bit, and
Yeah.
I got up, and I like, because I'm thinking it's a mouse, and I'm like, I'm down low, like my eye level is down here.
Yeah.
I yanked that bag out of there, and there was nothing there. There's no mouse. The mouse didn't. There wasn't a mouse in the chip bag. There was no mouse. No mouse. I know there was no mouse. God damn it! Like I looked, and I looked again because it did it again. And I'm like, it's got to be a mouse. And so at the second time, I go, can you move that? Can you move that chip bag again, or can you move that again? I think I don't remember exactly. And it went from there. It went over to where this green bag is.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I put the bags up against it, and I wanted to see if it would, if it, like if it would continue to move, or if any of these others would move.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we got our cameras out. This is my friend's phone,
Yeah.
and it showed up on her camera. So
That's crazy.
that was but this house is, we've had my mom grew up, there was a house at where this house is located before, the house I live in now. And she talked about hearing someone like walk through the house, and she was upstairs, and she thought it was grandpa, and no one came out the front door, but she heard someone go out the front door. And she asked her grandma, was like, I thought daddy went to town or whatever. And she's like, he did. And yeah, so and this is like farm people,
Yeah.
farm people. Not gonna make stuff like that up. My uncle told me about, he woke up and he was looking out his window, and because like he wakes up in the middle of the night and he's facing the window, and there was a man on the other side of the window. There used to be a balcony out there. He lived upstairs, or his bedroom was upstairs.
Yeah.
So there was no way for something to be standing outside that window. There was no balcony there, but apparently there was at one time. And
a ghost balcony that they have.
Yeah, right. And you see, that was the thing. I remember him telling me, he was like, he was convinced that ghosts don't see the property the way that it is now because of that experience he had. You know what I mean? It impacted his belief system like that much. You know what I mean? It wasn't like someone telling me a story. It was, he told me a story, and then I noticed, like, because he talked about, that subject, because I would ask, the subject would come up a lot. My uncle was a fun guy to talk to.
Yeah.
And the fact that it actually impacted his belief meant that he really experienced that. You know what I mean?
But that's so amazing, though. I mean, think about it. I mean, the possibility that, a a ghost or a spirit, or however you want to look at it, what do they see? I mean, exactly. I mean, do they see, if it's a house that they grew up in, or fondly remember, whatever else, do they see it for what it was and not for what it is currently?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's interesting.
I still kind of hang on the idea that what you're seeing isn't really the entity itself. You're just seeing a projection of what the entity wants you to see. If even like that, it is, say it is Uncle Bob, and you see Uncle Bob, you're not really seeing the entity itself. You're seeing what the entity is projecting to you. So
yeah,
I mean, and that story still falls in line with that, because it would, like, to it probably, time is one of those things, right, where like apparently everything is happening everywhere all at once. Like, have you heard this theory, right? So that means that the house is still here somehow, and perhaps that spirits are in this time loop, or whatever the hell it is, like,
yeah.
the house is the way that they saw it. I don't know. It's an interesting.
There's so many things that make you wonder about, and that's the wonderful thing about this. I mean, what do we really know, right? There's so many things that we can theorize, but I mean, that's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And you
And
can't trust, like, you, that's the thing about, like, when people say they're convinced they're talking to their grandfather or whatever, it's like, you don't really know if it was or wasn't. Not to say that maybe you didn't get something out of it, but it always worries me. The idea of I talk to some specific person and I know that I let him tell the story and I don't judge him for it, but I've always thought it's like, but do you really know? Because you can't see whatever this thing is. You can't see it, you know? And who knows what these things may know about you. Now we're getting paranoid.
exactly. You're looking over there. Oh, whoa, wait. Yeah, I mean, and I think that's the fascinating thing about this all, right? I mean, the more you think about it, the more avenues you can sort of fall down and
Mm-hmm.
that rabbit hole and go, wow, okay, I'm going to follow this for a little bit to see where it takes me.
Mm-hmm.
Do I believe it or not? Well, hey, only time will tell. But it's to me, when I look at people, yeah, you have people who are so hardcore with investigating the paranormal, and then you have people who are just in it for the thrill, and then you have the people who that just don't believe it. It's just bullshit. You're full of crap, and that's fine. Everyone has their kind of stance on it. But what I'm really intrigued with are the people that are behind the scenes, the people that are carrying out these experiments and really trying to understand what might be happening. And I always harken back to, I mentioned him, Michael Esposito. He's a musician by trade. The guy's a musician, but he has had a um lifelong research into different ways in trying to capture EVP.
Uh-huh.
And he, like I said, I mean the different avenues he's taken to try to do this is just phenomenal. It just baffles my mind where he thinks about half this stuff and the success he's able to um you know that he's had with some of these methods. And like, he records them. He literally, he'll put an album together and it's all EVPs that he's been able to capture through these methods.
Huh.
It's relatively really intriguing, you know.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Just when you think you've heard everything, like, this guy's going to take EVPs and then make music out of it, right? Is that what I'm to understand? He makes music out of it?
Literally will make music, and he's not the only artist that does it. He's
That's amazing.
really good friends with a few people, a few artists in Europe
Nice.
that do the same thing, that really take it to a whole different level, right? But they're
That's incredible.
very serious about the research,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're 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 serious about it, but they're also intrigued with how they can use the EVP in a different sort of format.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear it.
His like I said, just look at he's here on. Let me see. I'll bring up his. He's also the great grandson of Marconi, I believe. Is it Marconi?
Marconian? I don't know
Uh,
what that is.
or sorry, the guy that devised uh, Morse code, I
What?
believe it is. Let me just. There we go.
Good discussions.
He's a fascinating guy. It's just
Henry Morse.
not Morse, but the others. His wiki's not the best. Let me just. Here we go. Here's I'll put it in chat there. And there's his wiki page. Gives you so it's he's a descendant of Alfred Vail, who invented the Morse code and several early telegraphic devices with his partner Samuel Morse. So, but his yeah his he's done
Alfred
a
Vail.
yeah
Sorry, Alfred Vail is the name of the guy who invented Morse code.
yeah
That's okay. Huh, what an interesting background that is, right? Like,
yeah. I mean he's awesome person. Like I mean we've had him on the show. I met him actually. I did a conference with him years ago. Such a down to earth guy, and really, you
I
know,
feel like I've heard the name Michael Esposito before.
he's done a lot of stuff at a lot of places like the Sally House, and he's done a lot of work at the Sally House years ago. I don't know if you're familiar with the Sally House or not.
I've heard of it.
Yeah,
I've heard of it. I'm
but
sure I've seen videos there.
yeah, like a lot of his stuff, though, when you look at his discography, it's just like all his experimentation and what he's found. He's done a lot of stuff in Germany, a lot of stuff in Sweden, in the UK. He's done a lot of stuff,
Done
research,
film.
and he's visited a lot of very well known historical locations that he seems to think that are so rich in frequency, and he's able to somewhat extract these really unique evps, and it's just really, I gotta have him back on the show. He's a
Yeah,
fascinating guy.
yeah, that's phenomenal.
Yeah,
Phenomenal.
fascinating guy.
Yeah, I looked up the first disc. I don't know if I'm going to have access to it or not. It doesn't seem like there's people selling his stuff on eBay.
Yeah, oh yeah, his stuff's all over the place.
Yeah, if I can find
he
it, I'm going to check that
he's
out. 'Cause
he's got some free stuff though too. I think there's I'm just trying to remember his he's got a free site, I believe. Mhm. A lot of the stuff is he self publishes a lot too.
yeah,
Here it is. No, that's not it. No, I'll have to ask him again. He's got is it on? Let me just see. Maybe it's over here. Let me see.
everybody stop what you're doing and look up Michael Esposito.
Yeah, it's
He's I love learning stuff like this because I've thought about, like never thought about like making music out of EVPs, but like I like playing recordings of things during songs and stuff. I kind of like to mess with that kind of vibe in the music that I do. So I've thought about doing something like that with EVPs where you just play an EVP in the middle of a song, but never making music out of it. So that's got me intrigued.
there's something on hold on Bandcamp. He's got stuff on Bandcamp
Oh,
as
cool.
well. Let me just see. Yeah, he's got all sorts of projects, but here's something here you guys can check out if you want on Bandcamp.
Right on. I'll open that after a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been on there too. I remember he had stuff on there, and he posts. Like I said, he's got so many different projects and so on and so on. It's so much out there. But yeah, I gotta have him back on the show. Definitely, he's
That's awesome.
really intriguing dude, man. He just a wealth of knowledge when it comes to EVP.
Frank's over here literally putting his heart into his music by making music from his heartbeat and bird songs. That's amazing.
Frank's a man. That guy's such a great guitarist. Frank,
Oh yeah,
yeah, yeah. He's really good guitarist, man.
nice.
Nice. Um, yeah.
I
Let's
love a
see
good
what.
guitarist. I love a bad guitarist.
Any guitarist, right?
Right.
Any guitarist.
Yeah. People would argue that maybe some of the artists that I like aren't very good at their instrument, but to me, I think it just proves that. And I know this is completely off subject, but it just proves that you don't have to be good to make good music. You know, like there's some really interesting bands out there that people would say are just awful, but I don't know. I beg to differ on like Sonic Youth, for example, right? You remember
Yeah.
Sonic Youth?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
Noise, lots of noise, but I think it's brilliant. You know, it's not for everybody. But
Yeah, I agree. I look at some of the stuff I like. People go, "What the hell? What the hell
right.
is that?"
Yeah. Or I don't see you being the kind of guy to listen to something like this. You ever get that?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you like that? Oh, wow. Seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll indulge with what is it? I'm just trying to think here. Hold on, where is it? This soundtrack here. This is can't play it. Screw it. Dung. Electric Dragon, 80,000 volts.
Okay.
You
What's that
ever
from?
That's
Mm-mm.
a Japanese short film.
Okay.
The soundtrack's amazing.
Right on.
It's amazing. I just absolutely love it. But literally, the guy becomes he gets electrocuted and becomes this like super crazy guitarist.
Nice.
But it again, the Japanese, when it comes to short films, get into some really whacked out crap. But the score, the
Uh-huh.
music is incredible. It's so incredible.
Yeah, who'd they get to play? I imagine it was somebody like, Yngwie Malmsteen or something like
Yeah.
that, you know.
Hold on. Let's see if the score. Can you get the score? Yeah.
Yngwie's one of those guys that I can't take seriously, but he's like, there's just no, like, you can't deny that he's like great at what he does, but it's just one of those guys that's like, I don't know if there's an ounce of soul in your body.
No,
You know?
I'm just trying to look for the.
But it's crazy, like, right? Like Herman Lee, do you know who that is?
Yeah,
Dragon Force's guitar
yeah,
player.
yeah.
Dude, that guy's, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's beyond math, like there's definitely that mathematical aspect to what he's doing. But like hearing all of the harmonies that he's playing on top of it and knows that when he's writing, it's just, how does your
Yeah.
brain work like that?
Here's just a little sample of it. So put it in chat there. A little sample of the score. It's whacked out. It's all over the place. But Frank
Hey,
said,
man.
I remember a movie with a guitar player called Angelo, who had the world record for speed playing and picking.
Angelo. Of course, a guy named Angelo would be like the world record holder for speed playing.
Oh yeah, that's too much. Anyways, I'm gonna cut this. I gotta do a few things, and it's like what one oh
Yeah,
1:16.
1:15 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's been a long day.
Yeah.
I appreciate you letting me come up and
No, hey, thanks. It's always great talking with you, Jimmy. You know,
yeah, man, it's a good
always a
time.
blast. And loving the documentary stuff, man.
Right on.
It's
Right
awesome.
on.
I love you had the what was it, the 24-hour thing going on?
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that
let
was pretty
that go
cool.
because like get everybody caught up on the day that the third episode came out, and then I guess I've taken it was last week, and then I haven't worked on. I did a little color correcting stuff, but I'm getting myself motivated again to finish the last part. So
Yeah.
that'll be out soon too. That'll be out
Awesome,
soon too.
man.
I appreciate you, man, for real. And
Look
I love
look
seeing
look,
it because I know you
look
pop in when I'm editing and stuff.
yeah. It's always intriguing. It's always like I said, I never liked editing, but I mean I love it now, but I remember when I first started, I hated it.
Yeah,
When I was working on sets and shit, I hated editing. And I always find it intriguing, and it's really cool that you share that. That's awesome, man.
yeah. It keeps me busy. I think part of the reason why I haven't been busy on it is because I haven't gone live. I told myself I wasn't going to go live with editing the last episode. That I was going to do it alone because I started it alone.
Yeah.
Um, but I got to get over that. I got to get over that and just do like I say.
Well, it's an intriguing, like I said, the first two parts. If you guys haven't seen it, the Ghost Carmel Maine, right? You
Yes,
know,
that's what it's called. Yeah, yeah,
you gotta check them out. Like I said, I was really intrigued when I watched the first one. I said, I gotta make contact with you and talk about it. I mean, that's it's a really intriguing
yeah.
documentary.
Last time we talked, it was I think the very first time we spoke was when the first and second episode had come out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you had just the second one, yeah, that came
yeah.
out, and I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to have you on and chat about it because I really enjoyed it. So
Yeah, I appreciated that too. You were the first person to have me up, and I haven't forgotten that.
no,
Not that
no, fuck it.
it's one of those things that I appreciate very much because I enjoy somebody who wants to hear the story. Obviously, I like
Yeah,
telling the story. It's an interesting story to me. It's what I'm going through,
yeah.
and to be able to share it with people who actually get something out of it, that's that means a lot. So I appreciate that you're even interested at all. Very much.
Hey, look it. I like I said, when it comes to this, I scour. I look for these often overlooked and in some cases just needs a little bit exposure. I find a lot of this fascinating, and I can't even remember how he stumbled upon it. I can't remember. Somebody might have mentioned it somewhere else. I can't remember, but I remember stumbling upon it, and I remember watching the first part and going, "Wow, this is actually really cool. This is really neat. I love this." And then you drop the second part, and I'm like, "Okay, this is okay. Yeah, definitely gonna make contact." And it was pretty cool that I was able to reach out. We were able to chat and
Yeah.
get you on the show and talk about it. So yeah, we'll definitely have you back on for a proper show
Oh, cool. Yeah, that'd be
for
awesome. I'd be happy to do.
for an update. It
Yeah, I'd like to get the next one out in the next 30 days. That's what I keep saying. I've been saying that for 3 weeks now. The number hasn't changed, but for real, it's not going to be long. And yeah, maybe once what I have to say is said, then we can talk about it and deeply, I guess, to where because I don't want to spoil anything.
No, obviously not. Obviously not. Yeah. No, definitely. Look forward to it, man.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Once again, thank you very much,
All
and
right.
chat for hanging out with us.
Yeah. Take care, everyone, and Jimmy, have a good one, man.
And then you too, brother.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.